Trojan family, Trojan gang. Fight on forever's in the building. And today, we about to talk about how Coach Henny just spoke on the USC NIL situation and how he view it. And he kind of spilled the beans and get an insight on what's going on with USC in this category. You know, he was getting interviewed by one of his former players, NFL player that played for the Rams, right? Brockers, defensive lineman, and they get to chopping up and talking. And you know, Coach Henny, you know, he charismatic, and this is just a smooth interview. And he dropped some jewels and nuggets. You could tell his familiarity with the player that he didn't coach. He opened up and said some things. And I don't know if y'all seen this interview. Just in case y'all didn't, I want y'all to hear what he got to say about the NIL situation and what's going on with that at USC and these players. And I'm gonna show y'all another clip of this showing how Coach Henny is a vibe and why these kids should come and play for Coach Henny and why he has that effect. But first off, check out this first video I'm finna show y'all, and really watch the whole video, of course. Really pay attention, like during the middle of it, when he really started talking about the NIL situation and what's going on. And he makes some very poignant points that just keep me confident. Every time I listen to Coach Henny, I feel like, man, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. I just know for sure our defensive line gonna be better. We gonna shock people in them trenches, right? We gonna shock our own fans from the difference from how I looked last year and this year. So check out this interview, Coach Henny dropping jewels about USC, the NIL, and what's going on right now in the current recruiting situation. Check him out.
You would can truly take advantage of taking care of your body earlier to create longevity. You know, when you're thinking about it that way, that's the mature. That's the seeing past the right now.
Now,
I feel a lot of people with NIL want to get rich and thinking that it's a wrap.
I think NIL.
You got to be thinking like this is to set you up for long term.
I think NIL is fucking a lot of kids up mentally. Yeah, because it's like, now, I'm not going on a real recruiting trip to see the tradition and to see the college and see the players and talk to the coaches and get to know people on the campus and stuff like that. Really experience the campus life. It's like, who got the biggest bag now? That's why I'm going. So just because you're taking that bigger bag don't mean you're going to be set up in the right program or these coaches throwing all this money at this kid just to might be able to keep him from USC, right? Let me keep this kid from going to USC. We'll give him a little bit of playing time, but he's not going to be able to blossom like how he would if he was actually at SC. Let's just keep him away from that.
And that's the thing that a lot of these cats have to understand, that sometimes like when you talk about truly being developed, like if you're a young man and you're a football head, like I think or know you are, especially if we talking defensive line, right? And you doing your research, right? You come, you know, first of all, if a school like SC is recruiting you, we have all of the resources in the world. That's first and foremost. Thank God that we're fortunate to have all of the resources in the world. So you're able to still, you know, have what you're allotted to be able to have from an NIL standpoint. That's Gucci.
Right.
Not only do you have that, but then you have coaches that are able to truly develop you and propel you for the next level and get you there better than anybody else in the world.
Right.
So because there may be a school that has some resources that are able to or trying to, you know, put a different type of bag in front of you, you know, some cats taking that over true development. That tells me a lot about a lot of guys. Like you're not a true football head.
Yeah. And then you think about it, it's a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid getting, hey, they offering, let me give you $5 million. It's like, it's fucking them up mentally, because like, you want me to say no to $5 million when this other school only offering me $20K or whatever? It's like, I feel like it's fucked up in the situation, in that type of situation. Yeah. But it is kids out there that are actually, on the flip side, actually taking trips and trying to see what's going on, but it's very few far in between because there's so much money being thrown out there.
My thing is, it's money being thrown, but it's like not that far off to where you feel like you would take your development over another school. Right. Like a school might be throwing, it ain't gonna be no $5 million to $20K. You see what I'm saying? It may be whatever, let's say 800 to 1 mil or 800 to 900. Like, and you gonna go with 900 over 8,
right? Just because,
and that's the better coach giving you 8,
right,
whatever the case may be,
right?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like still weighing those things, bro. This is not the end of the of all.
Right.
Like you got a future, so let's still invest in my future and know that I have everything that I need to truly maximize what I'm gonna get when it comes.
When it comes to that, so when these kids are getting this money, do you feel like they should also come with some type of financial literacy program?
1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, 1,000%. Because like you got to understand that, you know, like you coming from nothing and it's just like a boom right in front of you right now.
Yeah.
So like to not have that, that's why, you know, we encourage our guys and we give them all of the information that they need from a financial literacy standpoint to be able to help them make the best decisions, you know, and educating them throughout the process when you talk about the whole recruiting process and onboarding them, right, when they're having those NIL meetings and things of that nature. So that's critical in my mind.
I love the fact with the NIL, this is the beautiful.
I understand that.
But if you're a player, D lineman, if you're watching this and you want to be developed and to have all the techniques, man, come to USC, bro.
And they give you financial literacy. You heard Coach Hendog.
Because Henny's where it's at when you want to get better, when you want to find out where you are and get better, bro. I mean, he made me better, and I thought I was, I thought I was, you know, good. But when you got somebody telling you, nah, your hand placement could be here, it could be there, and you coachable and like, okay, you know, let me try this out, and you see it make your game better, man.
I feel like
it ain't a better feeling.
You know what it is like? You know what I'm saying?
So what y'all think? What y'all think, man? I definitely agree. I definitely agree. You see, he pointed out that these players, they squeezing every dollar. He said the difference ain't like 5 million to 20K. He basically spilled the beans and be like, these kids taking bigger bags, but they only slightly bigger bags. It's like 1 million to 800,000, 800,000 to 900,000. Like, you gonna take the extra 100,000, 200,000 and not get the better coach? These kids is squeezing out every dollar. So the kids that did decommit for money reasons, it's the kids that's trying to squeeze every dollar and they putting that over their development. They short-sighted, right? How can you, especially if you're a defensive lineman, how can you not want to play for Coach Henny and get his pedigree, his dog work? This like the third, fourth NFL, DeMarco Ford, this kid, Michael Brockers, Aaron Donald, everybody speaks glowingly of this man and how this man made them better, right? That's dynamo. That's like, it is big. So to turn away the best coaching that you could possibly get for a couple 100,000, 200,000, I hate to say it, them the type of kids, they mind ain't right. They mind ain't tuned into that greatness. They don't put, they ain't willing to bet on themselves, right? They don't see the vision and path of greatness. They thinking of right now what's in front of them, that money. And that's no knock on them because they young and they kids. But we gonna get the mature kids, the kids that commit to USC, they really about that development, right? And they believe in it, right? So we already laid good seeds with coaches like Coach Henny, Ints, and all these coaches, and we complaining about the class that we don't have right now, right? But during the season, I fully believe that the defensive line and the linebackers, they're gonna show improvement. Any recruit as a student of the game and watching USC and paying attention, they gonna see the effects of Coach Henny coaching and his new defensive staff. They gonna see the change. They gonna see the upgrade. And they're gonna be like, wow, this team was just trash last year on defense. Okay, that's the real deal right there. And somebody who's probably not even projected to go to the NFL off USC defense right now gonna get drafted. I'm just fully confident in that. Every time I listen to Matt Ince, every time I listen to Coach Henny, especially Ince and Coach Henny, it's something about them when they talk, you just believe it. And I know our defensive line and our linebacker core is going to be much stronger, and it's going to show, and it's going to impress recruits. So the recruits who feel like USC still got to show it on the field. Like, it sounds good, right? But schools like Ohio State, they doing it right now. So let's see that coaching. And USC, if we shine, it ain't got no excuse. You gotta pin it on the coaching, because we not projected to shine on defense. So the players gonna have to look like at USC, like, okay, them coaches did more with less, because that defense was trash, and this team ain't even projected like that. They talk about the struggles of recruiting, they thin up front. The roster was projected to look kind of shaky in the trenches, but this still turned out to be a good defense. Okay, that's great coaching over there. That's great development over there. So seeing this interview, this re-energized me, Trojan fans. Like, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. Unless we get decimated with injuries, I feel like what we got, Coach Henny can make something work with it. He said you could give him a 3-star and watch they ball out. Long as, listen what he say, long as they got the mind state, long as they got that dog work, long as they got that right mentality, he could work with them. Right? So I believe what the man say. Just like he said, he took a 6'1", 280-pound rookie defensive lineman and had him causing wreck as a rookie. Should have won Rookie of the Year. And when you check his stats in his game film, he looked like the Rookie of the Year. And I'm just being honest. I ain't saying that because I'm biased. I'm not a Rams fan. I'm a Raiders fan. But that kid was balling, right? So I believe that Coach Henny is gonna have our defensive linemen first in the right place and not getting washed, and he's gonna make them better. I believe every defensive lineman we have is gonna be better than they was before. I'm so excited for kids that ain't really even test the water yet and about to get a chance, like Devon Tompkins and Sam Green and Elijah Hughes. Kids like that, I can't wait to see what they do. Anthony Lucas. Them four right there, I can't wait to see what Coach Henny could do for Lucas and Elijah Hughes and Devon Tompkins and Sam Green and even G.Day Adversary. You know, he's a true freshman. He got the body, though. He's big enough. Is he strong enough? Hopefully so. He looked like a beast out there, too. Braylon Shelby, what he's going to do for guys like that, right? So the guys we do got, I just suspect them to be better than what they was even projected to be. I expect them to live up to the potential that they had coming out of high school. I expect them to play at a level that's better than average. I really do. I really do. If not, then these players were just really lacking. They just really lacking. They just really don't got it. But I feel like these kids got it. I feel like Devon Tompkins got the ability. I feel like Anthony Lucas got it. Elijah Hughes, I feel like they all can do it. I feel like it's all potential. It ain't like these kids is limited and they 3-star status. No, these kids is ballers and got talent. So I believe that we gonna shock the world, right? I believe that we finna show these recruits, and this recruiting class gonna end strong, because we gonna play strong on the field. So what y'all think, man? Coach Henny put me back in perspective and got me pumped up and excited for the season, right? So we gonna keep our eye out for recruiting, but it's all about this season on the field and what we could do on the field. And if we shine on the field, I feel like we gonna get a lot of recruits, and not just our record, right? So say if we go 9-3 and 10-2, but our defense still suck, then it's still gonna be hurting on our defensive recruiting, right? Even though overall it'll have a good effect, us winning. I mean, winning is winning. It's a winning program, but we still probably be in the battle for the elite defensive players. Now, if we go 9-3, 10-2 with above average to average defense, it's gonna be okay. Now we gonna be able to take our pick. We're going to be able to take our pick. Because once these coaches be able to show what they improve and done on the field, players is coming. Players is coming. They ain't going to, the smart ones going to come. They ain't going to let an extra 100,000 stop them from coming and get some of that dog work. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't finna stop them from coming getting none of that dog work. You hear me? So expect this 25 class to go back up when the season comes. I just feel it. I just feel it, especially the smart ones. I just feel it, especially the recruits that's watching coach and the recruits that really want the development but still got to see it, still waiting to really fully commit to USC till they see it. Right? Once they see it, they gonna remember everything Coach Henny and Deanton Lynn was telling them. They gonna be like, they wasn't lying. They gonna be like, they wasn't lying. Okay, I'm going to SC. So let everybody troll now and make fun of us now and glaze Oregon for their recruiting prowess. Let them do all that right now. But when this season come, they about to see that dog work. That Coach Henny and Matt Entz effect. Watch when I tell y'all, right? Our defensive line and our linebackers finna play with their head on fire because that's the only thing these coaches finna about to accept. And we already know the secondary is talented. Man, let's go. If we avoid major injuries, especially on the defensive line, we gonna be good. We gonna be good. Great coaching goes a long way, especially in college football, and we gonna be good enough to impress that elite talent. More proof of the effect, like the interviewer start talking about the effect, the vibe he feel with Coach Henny, and he can see how players can relate to Coach Henny, just how Coach Henny, his approach, his vibe, his aura, how he get down, how he chop it up, how he can relate, and have you feeling like he one of the guys, but the coach at the same time. It's like a wonderful vibe, wonderful chemistry and environment for a player to have with his coach. So check out this part of the video where they basically talking about this, how Coach Henny is a vibe, man. Right? So we got a lot of things to look forward to once we start winning. I'm telling you, he's going to start cleaning up and recruiting. Right? Because we only just got one thing against us. Once we get that right, Coach Henny, it's going to be a no-brainer to come to USC. Right? How many NFL players going to have to say it? Already 3 of them, they going to keep adding up. So we going to see this effect. Check out the video, man. Coach Henny just a vibe.
Here talking to you for the few moments we had and listening to you on Mike talk, I feel like it's more so of like the delivery of how you talk to people, right? That players coach where I can feel like you coaching me, you teaching me, and I can still feel like I'm not being disrespected. It's like on some cool shit. Like you still my coach, but you giving me on some homeboy type shit, right?
No,
so the delivery is like, well, I can accept it. And I'm like, all right, bet I feel what you're saying, Coach. Versus when some coaches drill it to you and you like, man, whatever.
No,
bro.
it's like it's the coach that ain't never played. That's where it is. It's the coach that don't understand what you going through, trying to tell you, nah, man, put your weight here to do this technique.
Well, show me then, coach.
Yeah, that's what I be like.
Show me, like you said,
doing this.
Show
shit.
me better than you can tell me. Show me then.
Nah, fact, and I think that's where it came from because he played, so he understood. So I can tell him like, Coach, in this forward, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that pressure. Like, how do I keep my gap? Like, and he like, bro, you gotta fight with this arm. You know, and I'm like, oh no, I never thought about it like that. Okay, yeah. But you know, like when you don't have that, it's hard to get better, bro. And then you know, I've dealt with having a coach that didn't get me better. But let's talk about looking back on your career.
Well, there it is. There you have it. You see what I'm talking about? See why I'm excited for the future. It's been a tough kind of summer for us, right? It's been a tough summer, but the future's still looking bright. It's still looking good, and it's okay to be mad in the moment, but the forecast is still beautiful because the core of the program, the core of every college football program, at least half of the core nowadays is the coaching staff. According to Coach Henny, our NIL ain't that bad. We ain't that far off. We be getting outbid by 100,000, 200,000. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a big time major difference like I thought it was. I thought it was probably like we was putting up 250,000 to $1 million. You know what I'm saying? To 800,000. That's how I was feeling like. But according to Coach Henny, it's like the difference ain't even that much. He spilled the beans. So I'm just excited that I know we went on the field and we showed that development and we show that dog work in the prowess of our coaches. If we result that on the field, everything gonna be all good. The players gonna be like, okay, they wasn't lying. They gonna be ready to sign up. They gonna be ready to sign up to play for this man. That's why we even had the decommitments from the beginning, because once you sit down with Coach Henny, it's it's infectious. You want to play with them. That's why Gibson and Terry committed, because it was just like, how can you tell this man no? How they told him no is they went back home, got other people in their ear. Probably the Lincoln Riley effect, or USC ain't gonna never have no defense. You know, they hoping over there. We already got an established record. We already a great defense, right? They got to show and prove. My coaching staff look good on paper, but they ain't never coached together. You know what I'm saying? So it's still negative recruiting. Probably played a part in getting them kids decommitting. You can't negative recruit results on the field. So if that USC defense is playing right, lights out on the field, ain't nothing gonna be able to stop us. Justice Terry might come back. I don't know about Gibson, but Justice Terry might come back if we start balling out there on that field. You hear me? So until then, man, it's Carter Sports, it's Trojan City, it's USC. So let's go.